Hello guys, Madhu this side. Today I have brought the concept of accounting principles. These are also called general accepted accounting principles. First of all, it is necessary to understand what is the meaning of accounting principles and why it is necessary to prepare accounting statements. So, general accepted accounting principles are the basic guidelines that every accountant and every business enterprise have to follow for while preparing the accounting statements. So these generally accepted accounting principles are categorized into two sections. First is accounting concepts and the another one is accounting conventions. So here is the detailed list of all the accounting principles. Out of these, four are accounting conventions and the rest are the accounting concepts. So business entity is an accounting concept, money measurement is an accounting concept, going concern is again accounting concept, historical cost is again accounting concept, prudence and conservatism is accounting convention, materiality is again accounting convention, objectivity is again accounting concept, consistency is also accounting concept, accruals and matching is again accounting concept, realization is again accounting concept, uniformity is again accounting concept, and disclosure is accounting convention, and the last one, that is relevance, is again accounting concepts. So in this video I am going to explain all the accounting concepts and all the accounting conventions will be discussed in the another video. So first concept here is business entity. Meaning, the business and its owner are two separate existence entity. Any private and any personal income and expenses of the owners should not be treated as the incomes and expenses of the business. So according to this concept of accounting, the business and its owners both are considered separate entities from each other. It means the private expenses or the private incomes of the owner cannot be recorded in the books of accounts of the business. So if there is any expense or any personal expense of the proprietor, for example any insurance premium paid by the proprietor of his own personal insurance, that cannot be recorded in the books of accounts. So if the proprietor has paid any insurance premium related to his own business, only that insurance premium will be recorded in the books of accounts. So here are the list of examples that are based on business entity concept. Insurance premium for the owner's house should be excluded from the expense of the business because it is of his personal expense. The owner's property should not be included in the premises account of the business. So if the owner or the proprietor has his own personal land, that cannot be considered as a business asset. So any payments for the owner's personal expenses by the business will be treated as drawings and reduce the owner's capital contribution in the business. So as guys, we know that if a person invests any amount in the business, that is called capital. So if a person withdraws any amount from the business for his personal use, that will reduce the capital. So that amount withdrawn is called drawing and it will be deducted from the capital of the proprietor that he has invested in the business. The second concept here is money measurement concept. Meaning, all transactions of the business are recorded in terms of money. It provides a common unit of measurement. So this concept states that only those transactions can be recorded in the books of accounts which can be measured in terms of money or money's worth. Examples are market conditions, technological changes, and the efficiency of management would not be disclosed in the accounts. So all these examples cannot be recorded in the books of accounts because all these transaction do not have any monetary value. Next concept is going concern concept, meaning the business will continue in operational existence for the foreseeable future. Financial statements should be prepared on a going concern basis unless management either intends to liquidate the enterprise or to cease trading or has no realistic alternate but to do so. So this concept states that every business is started with the objective of running for a longer period of time. So if any economic activity which is started by any person with the objective of completing only a particular objective or with the completion of a particular target, that cannot be considered as business. So every person who starts a business, he has his sole objective that he has to run this business for a longer period of time, and on the basis of this concept only, the profitability position and the whole life of the asset, whole life of the business is divided into number of parts, that is called accounting year, and financial statements are prepared every accounting year so that the profitability position and the financial position of the business can be assessed at the end of each and every accounting year. Examples of going concern concept are: possible losses from the closure of business will not be anticipated in the accounts. So all the possible losses that may happen in future cannot be recorded in the books of accounts. Rather, we can make a good for loss that may happen in the future by creating different provisions. Fixed assets are recorded at historical cost, because whenever a business purchases an asset, only the cost value can be recorded in the books of accounts, and the market value of that particular assets is always ignored by the businessman, because the asset is purchased by the business with the objective of using it for a longer period of time and not with the objective of reselling it in a future. Prepayment depreciation provisions may be carried forward in the expectation of proper matching against the revenues of future period. So if the business has paid any expense in advance, that is called prepaid, and only due to the going concern concept, any prepaid expense which is made by the business organization is considered as an asset for the organization. Next concept is historical cost, meaning assets should be shown on the balance sheet at the cost of purchase instead of current value. So this concept states that whatever the assets are purchased by the organization, all these assets needs to be recorded in the books of accounts at cost price, not on the market value of the asset. So market value of the asset is ignored. Example, the cost of fixed asset is recorded at the date of acquisition cost. The acquisition cost includes all the expenditure made to prepare the assets for its intended use. It includes the invoice price of the assets, freight charges, insurance or installation cost. So whenever the assets are purchased by the organization, it will be recorded in the books of accounts at its total cost. Total cost here means the purchase value of the asset, any charges paid by the organization on its erection, on its delivery and on its installation. So all the expenses that are spent on these machines for making it ready to use in the business, that will be added as a cost of that particular asset. Next is objectivity, meaning the accounting information should be free from bias and capable of independent verification. The information should be based upon verifiable evidences such as invoices or contracts. In other words, we can say that the accounting statements that are to be prepared by every business organization should not be dominated by the imagination of the accountants and the proprietor or any other human being, because if any transaction is recorded on the basis of imagination or any estimates made by the proprietor or any other person, the accounting statement cannot present the true and fair view of the profitability position as well as the financial position of the business concern. So all the transactions that need to be recorded in the books of accounts should be supported by evidences like invoices, bills, cash memos. Examples are: the recognition of revenue should be based on verifiable evidence such as the delivery of goods or the issue of invoices. So if we are recording the sales of goods in the books of accounts, these sales should be supported by some evidences like invoices, bills, cash memos, so that these transactions that are to be recorded in the books of accounts can be verified by the auditor. Next is consistency, meaning companies should choose the most suitable accounting methods and treatment and consistently apply them in every period. Changes are permitted only when the new method is considered better and can reflect the true and fair view of the financial position of the company. The change and its effect on profit should be disclosed in the financial statement. So this concept states that the business enterprise should follow the methods of the calculation of different items, and the treatment of different items needs to be adopted consistently in each and every accounting year, because it helps in making the comparison of the performance of the business organization with its past records. Because if the business enterprise keeps on changing the different methods or valuation or the different treatments, in that case the business enterprise will not be in position to compare its present results with the past results. But it doesn't mean that he is not allowed to make changes. He is allowed to make changes in the methods and in the treatment of different items only when these changes bring improvement in the performance of the business. So whatever the changes have been made by the business enterprise needs to be disclosed in the books of accounts by quoting the working notes and by giving notes at the end of the financial statements. Examples here are: if a company adopts straight line method and should not be charged to adopt the reducing balance method in other period. So here is the example of charging depreciation, because there are number of methods of calculation of the depreciation on fixed assets. So if the business is following the straight line method of depreciation, it should not follow the another method, that is diminishing value method, in the next year, because in that case it will become impossible or difficult for the business enterprise to compare the results of the business. Another example here is: if a company adopts weighted average method as stock valuation and should not be changed to another method, example first in first out method. So another example is of the valuation of stock. So if the company or if the business is following the weighted average cost method of calculation while the value of stock, it should not follow the another method of valuation of stock in the next period, because it makes difficult for the business organization to bring or to make comparison between the performance of two different financial results. The next one is accruals and matching concept, meaning revenues are recognized when they are earned but not when cash is received. Expenses are recognized as they are incurred but not when cash is paid. The net income for the period is determined by subtracting expenses, income from revenues earned. So this concept states that all the revenues and all the expenses are recorded in the books of accounts when they become due and not paid, because there may be a difference between the dates of earned or incurred and received and paid. For example, expenses incurred but not yet paid in current period should be treated as accrual or accrued expenses under current liabilities. So for example, any expense which is payable during the current year is not paid in the current year, it doesn't mean that we will not record those expenses, because accounting statements are prepared on accrual basis. So all the current year expenses will be recorded in the current year accounts only. In the same way, if there is any income which has become due or which is related to current year and has not yet been received by the organization in current year, that income will not be recorded in the year when it will be received by the organization. It will be recorded only in the current year, because that income is related to current year, and according to accrual basis, all the current year incomes and all the current year expenses are recorded in current year books of accounts only. Next is realization. Meaning, revenues should be recognized when the major economic activities have been completed. Sales are recognized when the goods are sold and delivered to customers or services are rendered. So according to this concept, the revenue is realized only when the transaction has been entered into by the organization. For example, if the business has made a sale and the payment has been made by the customer and the possession has been transferred by the organization, only at that time the sales will be considered. But if the business has received only an order from the customer, it means no possession and no ownership has been transferred by the organization to its customer, that cannot be considered as sales. Example, goods sent to our customer on sale or return basis. This means the customer do not pay for the goods until they confirm to buy. So if the business sends any good to his customer and it has not been confirmed by the customer that whether he is ready to purchase for those goods or not, it means that goods are called sale or return basis. In that case, the customer has the option either to purchase those goods or to return it to the supplier. Goods on the sale or return basis will not be treated as normal sales and should be included in the closing stock unless the sales have been confirmed by the customers. So until the customer confirm about his purchase of goods, those goods that have been sent by the business organization or by the seller on sale or return basis, till that time it will be considered as closing stock of the seller. Next is uniformity. Different companies within the same industry should adopt the same accounting methods and treatment for like transactions. This practice enables intercompany comparisons of their financial position. So this principle states that every company has to adopt the same accounting treatment and same accounting policies which have been adopted by all the companies that are operating in a particular industry, so that it could be easy for the company to compare its financial results with the financial results of the another companies. Next is relevance. Meaning, financial statements should be prepared to meet the objectives of the users. Relevant information which can satisfy the needs of most users is selected and recorded in the financial statement. So this concept states that only that information needs to be recorded or needs to be presented in the books of accounts that is necessary for the users of accounting, or that can meet the objectives of the different users of accounting. So relevant information which can satisfy the needs of most users is selected and recorded in the financial statement. So only that information should be disclosed in the books of accounts that can have its impact on the decision taken by the users of accounting information. So guys, I hope you have liked this video and you have understood the concepts of accounting principles, and the second section of accounting convention will be discussed in the another video.